Welcome. We're going to look at solving systems, this time of comics. So when this happens, we have something that would be similar to, say, a circle with a parabola. And the 2 points where they meet are the solutions that you're looking for. We can have numerous types of things. In fact, let's take the circle again, and the parabola could be like this, which means there would be 4 possibilities, or it could be like this. In fact, it could be a hyperbola, in which case we'd have 1, 2, or we could have 1 here, and this might be 2 of them. So we have numerous possibilities. There can actually be a line that goes through them, and 2 places the line hits the circle. Or a common one is a parabola with a line that goes through it and has 2 places. The line could also hit it in only 1 place, or the line might not hit the parabola at all, in which case there would be no solutions. Okay, so there are numerous possible things that we can do with these. So let's take a look at this first one. This one is a straight line. This one is a parabola. We don't know where they connect. The way to find it is to solve this. So we could take this first equation and solve for y and make the 2 equations equal to each other. Or we can simply take the fact that all of this is y and put it in place of y as a substitution method. So that's where we're going to go with this. 2x plus this whole thing, x squared plus 6x plus 7 equals -5. So let's clean this up. Let's add 5 to both sides. So we have 0 over here. And then the x squared will go first. And add the 2 x terms to make 8x. We have a normal quadratic. We can factor this to x plus 6 and x plus 2 equals 0. What this does for us, it gives us 2 answers for x. Subtract 6 from both sides, subtract 2 from both sides, so we have 2 separate solutions here. The problem is now to find the y's that go with it. So what we're going to do is when x is equal to -6, that means a -6 here, or when x is equal to -2, so we have a -2 here, and we need to find the y's. So what we're going to do is solve with the x's. We might as well take the easier ones of these two. 2x plus y equals -5. 2x plus y equals -5. So -2 will go here for this x. The -6 will go here for this x. And what we have then is 2 times the -2. 2 times the -2. So here we have -12. I'm going to add the 4 to both sides. Over here we have a -4. So I'm going to add 4 to both. 1. So that means we have a -6 and 7 for 1 point, and a -2 and -1 for the other point. And that's our solution set. Oops. Okay. So this one had 2 possibilities. It's probably something like this. And we found these 2 spots. Let's look at another one now. This one's set of substitution, we would eliminate them, because all we need to do is to get this y squared to make it 2y squared, and they would cancel out when we add. So, oh, wait a minute, I can't do this. I gotta be careful about something. So I almost just made a mistake that I'll point out to you that there's different exponents of these. Well, I'm not going to be able to eliminate them. Instead, when I look at it, I do have here that the x's are the same. There's no other x's, just 2x squareds. So all I actually need to do is subtract. When I subtract, the x's go away, and it looks like I have minus a y squared, and then minus that 2y, because they can't be actually put together. 8 take away 16 is negative 8. Add the 8 to both sides. Negative y squared minus 2y plus 8 equals 0. This, we're going to multiply everything here by negative 1, both sides. And now when we do that, we're going to get y squared plus 2y minus 8 equals 0. This one now we can factor. So we have y is equal to, it's y minus a 4 and y plus a 2. Those will multiply to the negative 8 and add to the positive 2. Wait a second. I can't be. Good thing I looked again, because this is positive, a negative and positive. I'm going to have to make this plus, and the other one minus, because now when I add them, I get a positive 2, but I still get the negative 8. Okay. So y plus 4 equals 0, y minus 2 equals 0. So our solution set, y is equal to a negative 4 and a positive 2. Oh, but it's not the full solution set because these are both y's. What it is that now we have 2 possible y's to work with. So we need to figure out when y is negative 4. Okay, what's the x? That means negative 4 for y. What's the x with it? And when y is positive 2, what's the x with it? Okay. So to do that, let's go back and choose one of the equations that we'll put the numbers into. And it doesn't really matter which one, but I think I'll take the easier one with less squaring. X squared minus 2y equals 8. X squared minus 2y is equal to 8. I'll do the same thing over here. So that negative 4 goes there. X squared plus 8 is equal to 8. Oh, now when I subtract 8 from both sides, I get that x squared is equal to 0. And you can't take the square root of 0. It's not a plus or minus. It's just 0. So x is equal to 0. So we have one of our solutions being 0 and negative 4. 0 for the x and negative 4 for the y. Let's do the same thing over here now. Okay. I'm going to bring it back up again. That 2 is going to go here. So I get x squared minus 2 times 2 is equal to 8. X squared minus 4 is equal to 8. We'll add 4. X squared is equal to 12. Now, x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 12. Let's work over here that when you have the square root of 12, you go 4 times 3, and that's 2 squared. Square root of 4 times the square root of 3. Square root of 4 is a 2. So x is equal to plus or minus 2 root 3. And that's what we'll put. The positive will go with the 2, and the negative will go with the 2. So I have 2 and 2 root 3. And I have 2 and negative 2 root 3. So there are 3 places here where these two conics meet. And when I look back at what they are, this one's a x squared minus 2y. That looks like a parabola, and the other one looks like a circle. So I have a circle. And since I have 3 points here, it is probably a parabola that looks like this. Okay. Could have a different look to it, but it's most probably similar to that. So all 3 points need to be included as part of the solution. Okay, now let's look at another problem here. Another good one that's worth practice. Okay. We have a couple more here. This one, it looks like if I made this one a 2, these could be subtracted and get away with, or if I multiply by -2, I get a +2 there, and that would help to make that go away. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this one as 3x squared minus 2y squared equals -5. This one, I'm going to multiply everything there by a -2. So I get -4x squared plus 2y squared is equal to 4. And now we can add these. So these two become a -x squared. These just go away, -2y squared plus 2y squared. And -5 plus 4 is a -1. Let's multiply both sides by -1. Get x squared is 1, which means x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1. X is equal to plus or minus 1. So that means I need to figure out when x is 1, what are the y's? And when x is -1, what are the y's? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm trying to figure out when I have a 1, what's the y? When I have a -1, what's the y? We can use either of the equations above there to work with. But for no good reason then, I just feel like it, I'm going to use the first one. 3x squared minus 2y squared equals -5. Okay, so first, let's put a 1 in here. So 1 squared is just 1, so that's 3 minus 2y squared is -5. -3, you can follow along with me. -8. I'm going to divide both sides by that. -2, y squared is 4. Let's take the square root of it. Okay, y is equal to plus or minus square root of 4, which is just 2. Plus or minus 2. So now I have a 1 with a 2 and a 1 with a -2. So I've used both of the 2's here with the x value here. Let's look at the next one now. I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I think we're going to use the second one here this time. 2x squared minus y squared equals -2. So I'm going to put a -1 in here. -1 squared minus y squared equals -2. So -1 squared is 1, so I just have a 2. So let's subtract 2. -y squared is -4. Then multiply both sides by a -1, and we get positives here. Well, y squared equals 4 is y is equal to square root of 4 is 2, so it's going to be plus or minus 2. Just like here. In other words, looks like we have the same types of things over here. Except that for this one, we have an x of -1. -1 and 2. -1 and -2. So I have 4 possible answers. 1 and 2. 1 and -2. -1 and 2. -1 and -2. All right. So in this case, we have 4 possibilities here. Well, not 4 possibilities, actually 4 real actual answers. And remember what we have here is we have 2 hyperbolas. So what this might look like based on that could be something like, let's see, it's paying y squared. So it'd be like this. This is one possible scenario of it. Oh, didn't draw that very well. One, two, three, 4. That's one possibility. It could be other similar ones, but that satisfies me. Now, here's a practice one that's a bit more complicated, but worth looking at. The idea to start with any of these is what variable can most easily be eliminated or taken out. So here I have 2 to the x squareds. Now I have a negative y squared and a plus y squared. So I could just add those rather than subtract the x squareds. And the other ones won't matter as long as they would cancel out. Looks to me like the easiest way here is simply just to add these two equations. So if I add these, I get rid of all the y's because those will cancel and these will cancel. And so now let's whoops. Okay, let me bring this back here. I can get this back to the normal thing. There we are, good. Okay, so let's add 8 to both sides. So I have 2x squared minus 8x plus 8 is equal to 0. I can see that everything here on both sides can be divided by 2. And so I get x squared minus 4x plus 4 and divide by 2 on the other side. We also get still 0. And make this a little clearer. So now, can this be factored? Indeed it can. These are 2 2's there. Minus 2 and x minus 2. So negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4, and negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Oh, but that means that x minus 2 equals 0. And add 2, I get 2, but I get that for both of them. So that's simply the answer for that one. I have just 2. So having done that, now let's solve for a y. And we can use either one of these that we wish to. I'll just take the first one for no better reason than I've done that already in the past, but practicing myself. So the equation x squared minus y squared minus 4x plus 6y equals a positive 4. And I'm going to put the 2 in here. And I'm going to put the 2 in here. Both of those spots. So I have 2 squared minus y squared minus 4 times 2 plus 6y equals 4. So I get 4 minus y squared minus 8 plus 6y equals 4. So now let's put all this together. That takes care of this and this. Negative 8 minus 4 is a negative 4. We'll have negative 4 here, but I'm going to subtract 4 from the other side. So that means I'm going to get it to there. So I actually have a negative 8 equals 0. Let's multiply both sides by a negative 1. Y squared. Yeah, that's supposed to be a 1. Multiplied by negative 1 minus 6y plus 8 is equal to 0. So what that does now for us is, can I factor it? Well, let's see, two numbers multiplying to 8 and adding to 6 could be a 4 and a 2, and if they were both negatives, they would make a positive 8. They would add to a negative 6, so this is good. So y minus 4 equals 0 means that y is equal to, well, both of these 2 and 4. Because remember, you get y minus 4 is equal to 0. And you have a y minus 2 is equal to 0, so you get 4 and 2. Those go with this x. We had x is 2, and now we have 2 y's. So what we have as an answer is a 2 and a 2, and a 2 and a 4. Okay, we're going to put them. So you have seen some different examples of solving systems, and as long as you keep the steps straight in your head, you won't have any problem. with these. It's just the most difficult part is figuring out what to, or how to change equations in order to cancel out an entire variable, both the x squared term and the x to the first term. Now, hopefully all of these problems help with this understanding and knowing now how to do it. Thank you for watching and listening.